So, how do we call Bríd into our homes on her festival, Draíocht? This is something that would have happened at dawn on the 1st of February on Lá Fhéile Bríd. This happened across Ireland. We know this from newspaper accounts, contemporary accounts, from the National Folklore Record, and from Donegal in the Main Manuscript Collection. We actually have a record of the words that were used. Now, obviously you can't say they were used exactly the same way across Ireland, but they would have been used in a very similar format. So it's a very valuable nugget of information. How it was structured, the youngest person in the household generally would go outside. The house at this point would have been thoroughly cleaned. The fires are out in the hearth. The hearth is cold and unlit. The straw bedding or tick that would have been stuffed into mattresses or filled on the floor sometimes, any covering of rushes or straw on the floor, anything like that would have been completely removed, brought outside, ready for burning. Not on fire yet, but ready for it. At this point, as dawn breaks, the person outside will call out a format of words and the people inside the house respond to them. What would have been used, and I've just put it up here on the screen, this is obviously Donegal Irish. It's an old form of Donegal Irish. What it roughly sounds like would be Govmead ar gnine, Foscalmead ar hula, agus Leigi isteach Bríd. But apologies to anyone with Donegal Irish. And it translates as we fall to our knees, we take to our knees, we open our eyes and we let Bríd in. The people inside the house responded. Now, this will be, as I say, in Donegal Irish, they said Shebaha, but we would say in modern Irish, Shedavaha. You're welcome, you're welcome. Shedavaha, 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 3 times. Amana, Dina, Ishla. It's the noble woman of women. You know what I mean? It's the noble woman. So this would have been repeated. Now, in some accounts, the only thing that's repeated 3 times is Shedavaha or Shevaha. In some accounts, the whole format is repeated 3 times. But whichever way you do it, you have now welcomed Bríd into your home. Then you light your fires. The fire is now lit. The hearth becomes active again. The fires that are prepared outside with all the old bedding, all the old straw and rushes, they are lit. Now they also would contain other woods, and these fires were believed to have very deep medicinal and protective properties. We would have driven the livestock through the smoke of the fire and almost like delousing them in the smoke. Now, this would have actually had obviously very practical connotations. I mean, you're cleaning out the house after the long months of winter. You're refreshing your bedding, your everything. It's good for your health to do this. And people lived in a way that we find difficult to imagine now with our mod cons and our well-built houses. So if you're living in a turf house, a house literally built from turf, or a mud cabin, or a tumble-down cabin, as many of our ancestors did, this kind of thing would have made a significant improvement to the smell and feel and cleanliness of the house. So people made a virtue of necessity in some ways, but all of this was dedicated to Bríd, to her protective and healing qualities, and the sense of inviting her in for a new season. Spring has now started. So the 1st of February in Ireland is the traditional start of spring. So we are now out of winter. We survived. You can imagine a great sense of relief and hope from that moment on. So if you are perhaps following an Irish path, if you are seeking to connect with Bríd, this is something that you can do in your own home. And you are connecting not just to her, but to generations of ancestors, spiritual or physical, who have done this before you. Slán, bye.